Hi, welcome to Inky Vaper. I'm John, and today we're going to be talking about the Anarchist V2 Mech mod. I got this a few months back now from local Vape when they were at the Vape Jam in London. It's a stainless steel hybrid mechanical mod. It has a brass magnetic switch at the bottom, which we'll show you in the up close in a moment. It's a fairly simple mod, so it shouldn't take too long to do the up close and everything. And once we've done that, we'll come back and I'll tell you what I think of it. See you in a moment. Okay guys, so here we have the Anarchist V2 in stainless steel, very plain. As you can see down on the bottom there is an Anarchist logo that was laser etched into it. It's the little Anarchist guy in front of an Anarchist logo with their font saying Anarchist across the bottom there. Now it's quite a light laser etching. I've had this mod for quite some time now, and through cleaning and just general use, that laser engraving has started to come off a bit, so you can't really see it particularly well. It's a shame really, because it's a nice little logo. It could have done with being just etched in a little bit deeper perhaps, and it perhaps would have lasted a bit longer, but hey, it is what it is. So at the top here we have the hybrid top cap. Got two little indents there, which if you having problems getting off the mod, you can put in what I tend to do is get a pair of ceramic tweezers and put the tongs of the tweezers, the tines of the tweezers, sorry, into the end here and just twist it off, but it comes off with your finger, so we'll take that off. Now on the underneath of this you can see there is a Delrin insulator, which just sort of helps protect from contacting the battery if there's no mod in the actual if there's no RDA screwed in. You can still, you're still safe, and it's not going to fire if you accidentally press the fire button. It's not going to cause any kind of short or anything like that. That's a feature on these that I'd like to see on all of them. It doesn't always necessarily happen. Now the threading on this is very well done. It perhaps needs a bit of a clean, but it's not too bad at the moment. So we'll just pop that to one side. Then we've got my 25R battery. I'll just take that off the bottom there, this is a magnet which in screen. Got the magnet which sits on the bottom of your battery like so. Now there's one side is kind of raised and the other side is flush. You want the flush side on the inside, on the bottom of your battery, and then the brass section sticks out. If you can see that there, that sticks out enough so that when you press the fire button, that makes contact with the switch. Now I'll just pop the switch out. Okay, so here we have the brass switch. That's got the Anarchist logo on it as well, and that's held up a lot better. Now I'm guessing that's probably because brass is a little bit softer and therefore a bit easier to laser etch than stainless steel is. But yeah, and as you can see up the top here, we've got a little vent hole in case you have any kind of battery issue, and that runs all the way through the switch. And on the other side, as you can see, the whole switch is just one big lump of brass, and you've got a magnet in the middle. Now this magnet repels the magnet that's on the bottom of the battery, and that's how we get the switch action. So what I'll do is I'll just, as you can see, there's the inside of the tube. All the threading on this is absolutely brilliantly done. It wasn't the cleanest when I got it, but we'll go into that a bit later. But the threading and the machining and everything on the inside of this tube is just absolutely spotless. There's no burrs, there's no scratches, there's no janky threading or anything like that. And it is a really simple switch. So what you do is you just take your switch and you magnet side up, just drop it in, and it just finds its way right to the bottom of the tube. There's no sort of having to struggle to shake it down like some other magnetic switches. And as you can see down the bottom there's your switch. And then what you do when you've got your magnet on the bottom of your battery, it's like that, like so, just pop it in, and as you can see it kind of bounces. That's the polarity of the battery, of the magnets keeping the battery afloat, as it were. Now you want to make sure that your battery does this, because obviously if you've got the magnet the wrong way round on the bottom of the battery, those two magnets are going to stick together at the bottom there, and the switch isn't going to work. Okay, so we'll just put that over there. Now this is an important thing when it comes to hybrid mechanicals. Is what we want is we want an RDA or a dripper that has a protruding 510. Now what I mean by that is, if you look at the bottom of the threading on this, and I put my finger behind it like so, you should be able to see that the copper pin in the centre of the 510 there sticks out quite a way beyond the threading. Now the reason we want that is that is what's going to make direct contact with the top of your battery here when you press the switch. So what we do is we take the RDA and get the hybrid top cap. Dropping shit. Hybrid top cap. Let's just spin it on there, and you want to be able to see, as you can see there, that the end of that is sticking out nice and proud of the bottom of here, so that it's going to make contact with that pin and not with the outer area of the 510 there, because that will cause you to have a hard short and a bad day. Okay, so with any of these hybrid batteries, hybrid mods, make sure that you've got a nice protruding 510. You can see it there, look, nicely sticking out, because that's how they're designed to work. Now we've had issues in the past. Vapers have put your sub-ohm tanks on there. I really don't recommend that you do that. Any of the sub-ohm clearomisers that have got like a fixed 510, some of them quite often are quite spongy, and there's been cases where people have put them on these hybrid mods, and you end up with, it can end up with a short. So what you do then is, once you've got that on there, you see I'm just pressing this. Hang on, that was my fault. Got my finger on the switch. So what we do is just screw that on like so, and as you can hear, as you heard a minute ago, you need to be careful that you're not pressing on the switch like I just did, like a numbnuts. Okay, so we've got the RDA on the top there, opening up the airflow, and the switch. There you get. There's no real battery rattle. If you really give it a good shake up and down, you can get the battery does clunk about a bit, because the battery is just literally free floating on those two magnets. But as you can, there we go. And that's it. We'll go back up top, and I'll give you my thoughts. Welcome back, guys. Well, as you saw in the up close, as I said, this is a fairly simple mod. It's very, very well made. The laser etching around the bottom there has seen better days, but then it is I have had it quite a long time now, and I've been using it quite a lot as well. Now, when it comes to mechanical mods, they seem to, especially tube mods, they seem to have fallen out of favour recently with certain elements of the vaping community. But I think that they've never really gone away, and for me, the form factor of a really nice, well-made hybrid tube mod is just it's just a perfect vape for me. I absolutely love it. This mod in particular, you know, I hate to use the term, but it does hit really well, and that's down to the conductivity from the brass switching, and that we saw up close. Excuse me, that we saw up close, and the fact that it's a hybrid. Now, when I got this, it was quite badly. It did have quite a bad build-up of machine oil inside the tube, which took a lot of cleaning out. Now, I've said this before, and I'll continue to say it. I don't think that we should have to actually put up with pieces of vape gear turning up to us when we buy it with huge amounts of machine oil in them. I'm more concerned about tanks and RDAs having that amount of machine oil in them, but this was pretty much unusable as it was when I got it. Now it didn't come with any kind of fancy packaging. I seem to remember it came in a cardboard like tube with plastic stoppers on either end, and it was wrapped in bubble wrap, and that was then wrapped in a sort of like an Anarchist logoed polishing cloth. Now since I've had this for quite some time now, I've lost both of those things, so that's why I couldn't show you them in the up close. The thing I love about this mod is the fact that it's stainless steel, so it's durable. It's a brilliant size. I mean, it's tiny, especially with a nice little a short little RDA like this has to on the top of it. I think it just looks absolutely great. Excuse me, I'll just have a quick vape. And it performs extremely well. They are available in the UK, and what I'll try and do is I'll try and find some sites that are selling the Anarchists and put them in the description below. This is a mod for people who are used to or are willing to do the research for the use of a hybrid mod. It is a potentially dangerous piece of kit, as quite a few bits of vaping gear. If you don't have, as we saw in the close-up, if you don't have protruding 510 on your RDA or on your tank, you certainly shouldn't be using it on this, because you do run the risk of having a hard short, and that's going to cause all sorts of problems with your battery, and you could end up with venting and all sorts. So that's one thing to remember. The other thing to remember with all mechanicals is, and it's something that I tend to be a bit lazy about, especially with this, because it's stainless steel, I forget that it does actually need to be cleaned. So if you're going to go into the mechanical realms with your vaping, you need to make sure that you clean your switches, clean your contacts, clean the threading on the inside of the hybrid top there. All your threading and where your switches go should be kept nice and clean, so that you get the best conductivity that you can. Now, the reason I love this is it's stainless steel, it's sturdy, I could take it anywhere, I can just throw it in my pocket. The switch is nice and firm, so it doesn't fire by accident. I can put it down on things and it's not going to fire, because it's that recessed switch that we saw in the close-up. And it's just a really well made, sturdy, hefty piece of kit, and I just love it. So if you're in the market for a tube mod, these are not extremely expensive. I don't know how much they retail for in the UK, but like I said, I'll stick some links down the bottom there if I can find any for those of you that are interested. They do all sorts of different kinds of finishes now, so you can get stainless steel, you can get ones with like the Cerakoting on the outside. They've done one with sort of etching on the stainless steel, so that it looks almost like an urban camo kind of deal on it. They're just a great, really well made, sturdy workhorse for anybody who's interested in going into the sort of mechanical world. This is a great one to have in your arsenal. So without any further ado, we'll leave it there, and if you like this video, please click like, because that helps me out. And if you want to see more videos, more content from me, feel free to press the subscribe button for me. And remember, Wednesdays 9 o'clock British time, I do a show with Ashley and Jamie called Vapers Worldwide. It's about a 2-hour long show. We have just general video, general chat, general sort of banter and stuff like that, but it's very vape orientated. So if you want to watch that, please go ahead. That's Vapers Worldwide with a Z on the end of the Vapers. I know I didn't name it, unfortunately, but anyway, so we'll leave it there, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.